Do the brakes on your Ford tractor not work properly? Maybe when you press your foot onto the brake pedal, it doesn't have much action, your tractor doesn't slow down. Or maybe it's like this tractor where the brake pedal is just stuck down, it's on the running board. Those are signs that you need to repair the brakes on your tractor. In this video, I'll go over all the steps to make the repairs to the brake system on your tractor. Now, you may be working on a Ford 600, like the one behind me, but these techniques also apply to a 700, 800, 900, or even a 2000 or 4000 with the 4-cylinder engine. If you're working on another model of antique Ford tractor, there may be some tips that you'll pick up on, but a more detailed explanation would be available in a video purchasable from Steiner Tractor Parts, which covers all of the Ford tractor antique models. So the first thing that you need to do is to remove the wheel from your tractor. When you do so, please get help moving your wheel. Mine's loaded with chloride, so it's very heavy. We don't want to have any accidents. I'm releasing the pressure on the shoe so that the drum will easily pull off. This is the adjustment that's inside this tractor. You can see it here. So with the tool, I'm just moving it like this. It's right-handed threads, and so that will shrink the brakes down so that the drum will easily come off. You'll notice that I do have my tractor properly jacked so that there's no accidents while we're working on this with the wheel off. Now I'm going to remove my drum here. So I'm just going to use a brass hammer and work gently for it to release, just like that. I'm going to pull this spring off. I'm using a pair of locking pliers to pull up and all the way down like so, and then the spring will come out just like that. Be sure to wear safety glasses on this step. And then next I'm going to remove these just with a regular pair of pliers. Put your finger on the back to hold the stud, and then you push down and across, and that will come out, that whole assembly there. And then we'll do the one on the bottom the same manner. The adjustment will come off in 2 parts, so you'll want to take the adjustment screw off and then head over to this side. We're going to remove this spring, again with your locking pliers, like that, okay? And it comes out all the way. Then we want to take both of these clips off. There's a couple different ways you can get them off, but you just want to pull them off like so, and I'll do that to both of these. There we go. Next, I'm going to dry both of these pins out, but before I do so, I just want to make note here that you can see the spring is broken. That's the reason for my brake pedal being stuck down, and also you can see how worn the shoes are, which would be the reason why the tractor wasn't stopping properly. So I'm going to put this back here just to protect my fingers and drag the pins out like so. There is a washer, or a collar I should say, that's around these as well. It'll come out a little bit later. I can just pull that. So lots of times these are very tight on there. You can see that I had to heat mine up. There's some heat distortion there. When you do heat, concentrate the heat right in here. Don't move around anywhere else. Just concentrate right there so you can expand these pins out. There we go. This is the collar I was talking about right there. There should be one up here too. The next spring to remove is this one behind here that you can't see very well, but it is there. You can see the bottom of it here, so I'm going to just pull this shoe out. There was the other collar. You just saw it come down. And then here is the spring. We're ready to remove this so that we can get to the seal. There's 9 bolts around here which you'll need to remove. Got my last one here to pull off. Pull the washer off as well. Then before you pull it off, you need to remove your brake release here back by where the emergency brake is. There's a little clip. There's a little clip like this, a linkage that holds it all together. So you'll need to remove that so that it can pull off with the end here. So everything's loose. We're just going to pull it out. I do have a pan underneath too, because if it's full, it will leak a little bit of oil as we go. This will be heavy when it comes off, so I'll get help at the end there so that it doesn't fall and hurt. There it comes. There's my brake, and this will continue to pull out. This is my inner axle seal, which I removed, and I'm going to put a new seal in. Now this is important because if your seal is leaking, then your tractor can leak, or it can let oil get onto your brake shoes, which causes them to stop working. So if you're repairing the brakes, I definitely suggest going the next step further and replacing the seal, which would be the only reason why you need to pull that brake assembly out that we did. So we're ready to put the new seal in. This is directional. If you want to keep stuff in, then the lip goes in. If you want to keep stuff out, the lip goes out. So we want the oil to stay in, so therefore we're putting the lip this way. First I'm gonna put a little bit of lubricant on there. This is dry lubricant. I'm gonna put it on there, get it all the way around. Then I'm going to set it in there straight, and then I'll just use this 2-inch socket to pound it the rest of the way in. I want you to notice how far I have the seal in. It's flush here, and when you're pounding it in, it will bottom out. So the seal's completely in and it's in the right direction. Next I want to talk about this shim. It's the shim and gasket in one. I inspected mine and it looks good, so we're going to use it again. So I'll set it over here, and then we're ready to put this into the tractor. You'll notice up here that this has to insert into the ring and pinion all at the same time that this rod goes in. So it's a little bit complicated. Get some help if you need it, and put this back into your tractor. I have my assembly in here. I have all the bolts on the back tightened. The rod fits in here where it should. Now we're ready to make sure that this is clean. If your seal was damaged, then there's likely oil around here, and we want to make sure that there's no oil that's going to come in contact with the shoes when we put them on. I'm using non-chlorinated brake cleaner, so we'll spray this. It does dry quickly, and then we'll wipe it off. We want to make sure that it's dry before we get to the part where we put the shoes on. Okay, so next we want to make sure that these holes don't have any rust in there or anything, because the pin that we put in, the new pin, needs to slide through both of those holes easily. So I'll use a wire brush on the end of my cordless drill here, and I'm using it on both this one and the hole behind it, both the top and the bottom. We want to go until we know that this pin will slide through both holes very easily. That one does, that looks good. And then here, you can see that slides in, that's good. I want to make sure that both holes are that way. I have my new shoe on here, and my spring is attached. I set the spring in there first and then put the shoe up there and attach the spring into the shoe. This is the long spring that's behind there. We're replacing it because mine was broken. So that's on there. And then as I was putting it in, I did put this little bushing or collar in there. So I put that, I'm gonna put that in there, and the pin will go through. So I'm just gonna set that there, and then I got it crooked. There we go. So I'm gonna rest that in there. Here's my pin. It is directional. See, that lip is where those clips are gonna go. So I have that in there. This needs to go down, oops, too much. I think I have it lined up, so I'm going to try to pound it in. There we go. And then the back one just needs some adjustment. You can push yours all the way through. Looks like I'm caught up on the, there we go. Okay, so just like that, and then we're ready to put the other shoe on. You'll see here that I got my spring attached on the bottom. It takes a lot of pressure to get that down and snapped in there. We lowered the shoes down so they rested in here and up here to kind of close that gap. And notice here that the brake, where the brake pedal is, that the ears aren't broken off here. That's in good condition. And so now we're ready to put the pins on the clips on either end of these pins here. So the lip goes down around there, like so. Okay. Like that. I'm going to hold that there, and then I'm going to pound it in. It needs to move up. Here we go. Okay, let's keep going in. Okay. Perfect. Now once it's on there, I'm just gonna move it up a little bit. There we go. Okay, once it's on there, I'm gonna use a pair of pliers to close in that so it kind of wraps around there. And I'll put the other clip in as well. I had to cut while I was putting that spring on because I need to be right in front of it and the camera wasn't able to see much when we put that on. But you can see the effects and I think that you'll be able to make that repair yourself. Okay, this is important to clip these in so that they don't slide around. Got pliers on there, I'm tightening it up. There we go. Now it can't move at all. It's really tight on there. Next I'm going to put this spring up here at the top. Notice how it's directional, where it's curved here and not so much there. So it snaps in there, or sets in there. And then you push it down and it attaches right here. There we go, perfect. Okay, it's in there. And I'm just gonna pound it in the rest of the way. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I'm ready to put my adjustment screw in. First I'm gonna put a little bit of anti-seize on here just to help it move freely. And then I'm going to adjust it all the way down and put it on our brake assembly here. That way, if it's adjusted all the way down, the drum will go on easily. So we're gonna move it down all the way. Okay, and then it snaps into there, or just rests in there. I'm gonna lift this up and put it on, just like that. This spring will keep the adjuster in place, so it goes around the back. Whoops, let's try that again. There we go, so it goes around the back and then slides in down here. There we go. And take my pliers off, and then I'll beat it in there so we know that it's in there good. There we go. Okay, so that spring's in there to hold the adjuster. Now we're gonna move up here. There's one of these rods at the top and the bottom. I like to put it so that the notch is going up and down, and I'm holding it with my other hand back here. Okay, now you put your plate on here, like this direction. And then there's a spring, and then this goes on top. So because I know that's up and down, that's how I have my plate. I'm gonna push it in, again holding it on the back, and then slide. Oops, let's try again here. Got my thing turned. There we go. Okay, it's up and down. There we go. Slide, it's on, and there it is. So you'll do that on the top and the bottom as well. Before we put the drum on, we just want to do one final check, make sure that our springs are good here with the adjustment screw. Both of these are on, your clips are on and closed up on the end, and also this spring is attached, and your big spring in the back is all connected. Mine looks good, so now we're ready to put the drum on. If your drum has a lot of damage, you can purchase a new drum to replace that part completely. Or you can take your drum to a machine shop and have it turned just like you would an automotive drum. My drum is in very good condition. There's no grooves to it whatsoever, so we're going to put it back on. There's no grooves because the brake pads on the shoes had not worn down all the way to the metal before we did the brake replacement here. So with that, we're ready to put the drum on. Just slide up here, and there it is. I'll pound it in a little bit. There we go, looks good. Okay, There is a reason for the brake pedal on a Ford tractor to be bent. It's so that you can make your adjustment so that both of your brake pedals can be level. So I heated that up, I took a crescent wrench on the end and bent it. That way, when you're sitting on the tractor, you can put your foot on the center of both brake pedals and apply pressure evenly between both sides. Make sure that you do your adjustment through the access port back here so that your pedal is adjusted properly. There should be probably about 2 inches of play on a Ford. When you push that down, there should be about 2 inches of pedal. There, I got my last wheel nut on there. That's secure. So my tire is free. I'm going to spin it around here. And that stops it. Very good. I hope that this video was able to help you put a stop to your brake problems.